All right.
Want beer?
Oh, yeah? Well, so's your face! Stop touching my magic phone.
Well, you're mistaken.
Vidka?
Okay.
You're really campaigning for Bitch of the Year, aren't you?
I swear, one of these times you're gonna wake up in a coma.
If we can focus, keep discipline, and not have quite as many mysterious deaths, Sunnydale is gonna rule!
Hey, everybody, and welcome to part 2 of our very special bonus episode of GrrArgh Cast, where we are giving you all the advice you could possibly need. I'm your host, Brandon Ellison, with my co-host,
Jewel Rocket Rose, and I don't know if I do give the best advice, like looking back at our last
I don't
episode.
think it's necessarily about giving the best advice. It's just that it is advice.
Yeah, I can't not keep my mouth shut. Like I had an incident this week, Brandon, if you will, where someone said something to me and I responded with my thoughts on that. They said, "I just told you to tell you." I said, "Don't."
It's probably better not to.
It's better not to. If you don't want to know what I think, don't tell me, because that is my default. I don't know how to undo that. It's like it just is what happens.
Yeah. Well, I love giving advice. I am not good at it either, but I still go for it. So
All the time. How do you not tell people what you think about them?
I kind of do it always.
All day. It's not fair, because I would want you to tell me.
I mean,
If there's something on my face, please tell me. If there's something in my teeth, please tell me.
Yeah. But also, like, don't tell. Like, I'm the worst person at taking advice because I always think I know better than everybody, and I also can't give myself advice to save my life.
Oh no, I give great advice. I don't take my advice at all.
Yeah. And I love that you took the phone off the hook for this. That's very good. I can hear it going "Meh, meh, meh" in the background. But at least you tried.
Guys, it's how this week is going. There's something about a moon in Leo, and my ego is like out of control, and whatever. Okay, I get it. But it was just it was a lot. And it's not stopping. It keeps going. I mean, what an amazing backing track.
If it makes you feel any better, my screen share for the PowerPoint presentation that I've spent the last hour and a half working on is just not working. So I have to read the questions without being able to show them on the screen, which is okay because most people are listening to this on audio anyway. So we have a few people in the room watching live. And so what we're going to do is we have 6 or 7 more questions we weren't able to get to last week. So we'll be doing what we did last time, where we bring in the longtime guest co-host and friends of the show to help us answer a few questions. We also have a very special guest joining us in Dagney Kerr, who played Buffy's roommate, Kathy. She'll be on in about 10-15 minutes.
I love her.
I love her. I'm so excited she's back. She is literally like, when I ask our like longtime listeners who their favorite guests have been, their answers are always Robia Scott, Dagney Kerr, Harry Grainer, and Larry Bagby. That's who everybody loves. I have loved every guest we've had on.
She is my favorite inconsequential character. She is my favorite one.
Kathy's consequential in the like Buffy's beginning of her college, whatever.
Okay, but like she goes away and she's never spoken of again.
Except on this show where we will not stop talking about her.
Well, we will not, because she's amazing.
And she's being tortured in a hell dimension because she wanted to go to college and listen to Cher.
I mean, like, I don't know how to defend that one.
Well, it is what it is.
Live life to the fullest, Kathy.
Okay, so she'll be on here in about 10 minutes with us, which I'm very excited for. For anyone who's watching that's on our Patreon Facebook page, you can come on and join us and answer questions. Just click the join link on the page that Naomi has gladly posted for us.
Also, quick one thing, Brandon, is there anything like you're obsessed with this week or at the moment that maybe they could sponsor us if we talk about them? Like maybe Celsius, Live Fit, it's better than Red Bull, and it tastes really good. And then I'm also very into the Factor meals this week.
Coke Zero and rolled gold pretzel twists and
They're not going to sponsor
market side
us.
hummus.
They're not going to sponsor us, but maybe Factor will.
What's Factor?
Factor is like a meal delivery service, and I figured I was spending so much money at work because I work in Beverly Hills.
Oh, you told me about this.
It's super expensive to eat every day. Yeah. So I got these meals that are delivered to my house, and that's
all we're going to say for now until they decide to sponsor us.
Right? Boom.
See, Factor, if you listen, you could be in on something, but you haven't called us. So you need to call us, and we'll advertise for you all the time. We love reading ads. It's one of our top 59,000 favorite things to do. So
it's adtastic.
It's adtastic.
Let's answer a question.
Yeah, let's jump right in. Oh, I do want to say, I thought you were going to ask like what I've been watching or listening or reading lately, and the answer is the same as it's always been, which is Buffy, Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, which I just finched watching the most recent episode.
Fabulous.
Maria Menounos is killing it.
She's so good.
And I've been listening to Mandy Moore's album on repeat again because it's all I've listened to for a year.
Okay. I watched something last night and I immediately called my mother and was like, "Oh my God, Mom, I have the nicest show for nicest people to watch. It's so great. Have you heard of it's new. It's called The High Note, starring Tracy Ellis Ross, Dakota Johnson, Ice Cube. I mean, like Bill Pullman. There is some like, why are you here? But also Diplo makes a cameo. It's very odd, but it was great.
I will get around to checking that out at some point.
The High Note.
The High Note. Is it on Hulu or something?
No, it was on HBO.
Oh, I have HBO Max.
Or Showtime?
To watch something. I don't.
I recorded it. I still have. I don't have a TiVo, but I have a DVR.
Ah, okay.
I still call it a TiVo. I don't.
I also still call DVRs a TiVo. Does TiVo even exist anymore? Is that the next stock that we have to buy?
Yeah, I just went boop 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 boop. It made a very, very serious.
We're buying stock at TiVo and Blockbuster, guys. Let's break the system.
Bring Blockbuster back.
Bring Blockbuster back. Okay, our first question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Jeremy from Pittsburgh asks, "Hey, Jewel, what characters..." Let's try that again. "Hey, Jewel, what characters did you like when you began watching the show but grew to hate? Inversely, where do you stand with characters like Anya and Tara that you initially hated?" And then there's a second part of that that's for me, but I'll let you go first.
Can we break that down to smaller pieces for me?
So what characters, when you began watching the show, did you like, and then eventually over time you stopped liking those characters?
Oh, Angel. Just let's go. Like, woo!
Yeah, you couldn't get enough of David Boreanaz when we started this show.
Oh, I sure did. Just the beginning of season 2, I was like, "Hey, where have you been all my life?" And then about 9 episodes in, I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, man.
Good life.
This is when you were on Bones and I couldn't stand you either." Yeah, I was like, "We're done here."
Yeah. Are there any other characters that you have first liked and have grown to hate?
Well, Darla, because at first I was like,
Darla's been barely on it. She's been on.
I know, but I still had feelings about it.
Yeah. When you first met Darla, you liked her?
Yeah.
Oh. And then you were just like, "I can't wait for her to die."
And then I was like, "What the fuck are you even doing here?"
Right. But she's coming back. We see her come back at the end of Angel season 1.
I think those are the ones I had like the strongest feelings about. We all know I saw and hated Jenny Calendar on site. I don't know what she did to me in a past life. Robia can't get enough of. She's fabulous. She's lovely. That hair still, but listen, I don't know why Jenny Calendar did something awful to me.
The second part of your question was, inversely, where do you stand with characters like Anya and Tara that you initially hated?
Okay, I'm starting to get Anya more. I'm getting it. I'm seeing her. I like it. She's funny. She is breaking the ice. Where Spike has really dropped the ball, Anya has picked it up and has kept playing. I don't like Tara. I think Tara is about to stir some shit up. I don't trust her after the what happened.
When they were doing the spell and she threw the thing across the room so it wouldn't finish. And then there's the when in the dream episode when she was like the shaman spirit guide for
Yeah,
everybody.
no, absolutely not. That for me, I was like, ooh, this is foreshadowing. She's about to blow some business up.
Also,
and this isn't going to work.
natural lighting is giving me full like touched by an angel realness.
You know what that is? That is God or whatever deity is out there. The pagans, I don't know. Someone's coming at you with the light because I am shining the light on the truth.
That might be it. Or it's the ghost of Cicely Tyson.
Is she coming to visit? Was she on Buffy?
She was not on Buffy, but she should have been. She
Why-
should have been Willow.
I don't think that's how that would have gone.
I don't think it would have gone that way either. So you've grown to like Anya. You're open to more Anya. But Tara,
I'm open to more Anya.
You think she's gonna fuck shit up.
No, Tara, something bad is coming for Tara. So like it's also, I find her to be a very meek and like washed out person.
Yeah,
I guess
that's kind of what she is. Like that's kind of how her character is written.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
That's I can you
Will says
imagine
that neither of you liked Xander, but you've gotten to like him a lot better.
Yes, but that was not the question. It was who did I like at first and then did not like after. So thank you so much for that. Sorry, Will. Sorry, Will. I'm having a bit of a snarky day.
My question was, Brandon, are there any characters you loved when you began the show that you hate now that you are older? That is a great question.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this answer.
So the answer is, I have the opposite answer, characters that I hated that I like Cordelia that I now love. But characters that I loved and now hated, I'm going to say, and this might be a little controversial, but I don't like Buffy very much. I don't like the choices that she makes. I don't like how she treats her friends as if they're just disposable. Like everyone else's connection to Buffy, she's such an integral part of their lives. And her connection to them is just, they're just there. They're just there to serve a purpose.
Did anyone just like have like a moment inside? Because I think Brandon just shattered something in the other room. I feel we are all stunned. I feel it's gonna be a big topic of conversation to come. I
loved her in 1998. Like I was like everything. Sarah Michelle Gellar is perfect. Buffy is perfect. Like everything she does is great. Now I look at it and I'm just like, she does a lot of really selfish stuff and she doesn't consider other people. And that's fine when you're a one-person team, but Buffy has a whole lot of people.
I want to kick you in a kneecap.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm so upset by everything you're saying. I feel like it's a personal affront.
The other thing that I'll say is I'm going to second Jewel on this and say Angel. I don't particularly like Angel as a character.
Yes!
And I used to take pictures of David Boreanaz into the hair salon and tell them that that's the haircut I wanted. That's how much like I loved David Boreanaz. That has changed. I am not a fan of his character. I'm not a fan of him. And if we're being entirely honest, I'm not a huge fan of his show. There's some good episodes, but it's hit and miss. So yeah.
You know, to add on to that, Brandon, Cordelia, I loved from the moment she walked on the screen. She could do nothing wrong in my eyes. Now that we are into the second season of Angel. I'm sorry, Angel. I didn't mean to throw up there. I kind of hate her.
Yeah.
So I have developed into really disliking her now. So why do they go to Angel to be pathetic?
Yeah. Everyone just saw me wave at somebody that nobody else can see because that's the kind of person I am.
I thought you were waving to the angels.
You're asking why Angel and why Angel and Cordelia went over to the TV show Angel to become pathetic?
Yes.
I don't know. It just was what it was.
Like, why did they go from like drama time, Buffy teens to like it's like something smells and also it's old.
All right. Well, that was that question. Thank you very much to Jeremy in Pittsburgh. Our next question is from Scotch in Atlanta, and we're going to bring on a couple of actually, we're going to bring on one person for this one. She is joining us. We talked about her earlier. She played Kathy, Buffy's college roommate, in the beginning of season 4. She's been on our show once before, and we loved her. And I'm just upset that she wasn't on Buffy more, so we could have her on our show all the time, just constantly. We could just pretend that Kathy's in the background of every episode of Buffy from now on. But she's here joining us again, and it's Dagney Kerr. Hi, Dagney.
Hi.
We are so happy to have you back.
Oh, I'm so excited to see you guys. It's been a few months.
It's been a hot minute, yeah.
It's been a cold minute.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's been. It's been a minute.
How are things in LA right now?
They're fine. It was weird. I went to the grocery store today, and like they just lifted that outdoor dining again. Like you could eat outside. It was like I drove, and I was like, oh my god, there's so many people out.
So many people out.
Yeah, enjoy that, because I know how things go in LA. In 2 weeks, everyone's gonna be back in the house, locked out.
I know, right? I'm still wearing my same sweatpants I was wearing the last time I saw you. So, and I have them on right now. I just have a nice top on.
Wait, you wear pants on podcasts? Why? Yeah, I'm in Texas dealing with family drama, and it is 74 degrees outside. It is insane.
Oh my gosh.
It's super warm here today too.
Yeah.
Have you been outside yet, Dagney?
I just briefly. I go out just for 5 minutes at a time is my limit. Yeah.
Me too. I don't want to be out in public. Yeah.
I mean, that's how I am outside of COVID too. So that's not saying much.
No, totally. Yeah.
The least human interaction that I can have, the happier I am.
Totally.
So Dagney, so we have viewers that watch the show that have sent in some questions that they have. It can be life advice, it can be questions about the show. They just want to know what we have to say. This is our little bonus palate cleanser between seasons 4 and 5.
I love it.
All right, so let's jump into the next one. This is kind of a heavy one. So
I'm glad I brought my glasses. I feel like if I was going to give advice, I should wear glasses.
Yes, it makes you. Yes, it makes you. Maybe I'll
bring up my diploma. Just like put a diploma in the background, so to make it real.
And again, if anyone from the Patreon group wants to join us, the link is on the Patreon page. We'd love to have you jump in and answer a few questions with us. So jump in line. So Scotch from Atlanta says, longtime listener, first time caller. I've always wanted to say that. I've been dating this awesome girl for a while, and she's perfect for me in every way, except that her politics are absolutely abhorrent. She's a QAnon Trump conspiracy nut, and it makes me insane. We have basically had an unspoken agreement for the last 2 years to not talk about politics, but I really like this girl, and I think I want to marry her. How would you recommend I handle this situation?
Oh, boy. I need glasses for this one.
I need something else.
Scotch, you are in a situation.
That's
a tough one, Scott. Yeah, that's a really, really, really tough one, because it is a saying, don't talk with people about politics and religion, because if they're not lined up, it's definitely be a problem.
Yeah,
and
that's at the dinner table at Thanksgiving. Those are people you don't see every day.
Yeah, boy, Scott, that's a tough one. Especially considering the type of politics is so extreme. I don't know what are Scott's views?
From what I understand, he's pretty much like middle of the road, sort of
middle of the road
Democrat, but not super lefty.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but just like a normal, sane person. So not.
Yeah. Oh man. It's tough giving advice without being judgmental. Just giving advice.
That wasn't part of the agreement. You could be as judgmental as you want to be.
It must be hard to be a therapist. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Oh my God,
you're doing that again.
Oh, good luck. Yeah. Gosh, Scott, this is a very, very tough one. I don't really even know what to say. I mean, there's part of me that just wants to say, just run. But then there's part of me that says, if you really love somebody, maybe you can find a middle ground. But I don't have anyone in my life that has those views, that's been open about them. So I don't know what that must be like because that is so extreme. I would say it's something that before you get married, you have to figure out if that's going to line up with you, because it's only going to get worse. So I think it might be something where you do have to have a tough conversation and really talk all that out with her and say, well, here are my views, and if they don't line up, it might be an issue, because then if you end up having kids, I don't have kids, but think about that. You have kids, and then your views are extreme. What are you going to teach your kids? I mean, it's a lot to think about. I'm glad you found love, but I think to make something last, inevitably you do have to find commonality in big things, and that is a pretty big one.
Yeah, I think so too.
So
I think I'm ready to put on my judgmental hat. Okay.
you do. I'll be the good cop. You be like
happy to be that bad cop. Listen, no, and I'm sorry, Scott, it's not going to work. Just end of story. Like, date her, hang out with her, be friends with her, do whatever you want. You can't marrying her and joining your life with someone who doesn't have the same like moral and ethical beliefs that you do is only going to end in tears. That is a very hard thing to change in people. I
Will says Mary Madeline is married to James Carville and they make it work. Now that's different though, because
That's
Jewel and
different.
I know both of them, incidentally.
Very well.
Jewel and Mary are both like sane people. They have like one's a little right leaning, one's a little left leaning, but they're both like sane, grounded people. These QAnon nut jobs.
That's different. It's
That's
that
different.
like
This
it
is a
was
cult.
taken.
This is dating
to
someone in a cult.
Yeah, it's like, how about she like, I'm saying like her today in the beliefs that she has, like, this is not that. No, I mean, Brandon and I met working in politics, and yeah, there's that odd one or two couples that are able to really make it work, and it's great and it's okay, but they're able to kind of set aside that part of their lives. You know, that part is work for them, or that part is just, it's separate. But the QAnon, I have just seen, like, this is a different mindset entirely, and it is scary.
Yeah. That's why I said it's more like dating into a cult than it is like dating into a political idea.
Yeah.
Like, you can't.
Well, there's so many things under the umbrella of QAnon too. Is it just the Trump stuff? Is it like the cannibalism in Hollywood stuff too? Like, how deep are we going?
That's the impression that I got from
who's
from
talking about blue aliens? Like, where are we?
Or what's her
what
name in
kind of
Congress?
QAnon?
Jewish space lasers starting.
Jewish
Right.
lasers.
Well, that one might be true. You never know.
You never know. You're just asking questions.
Fake shootings, staged
Yeah.
kids. Like this, no. Like, how far into?
And look, I consider myself to be like kind of a weirdo when it comes to politics. I'm like a libertarian, but I'm left-leaning libertarian. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like, I don't have like traditional left-right politics, and I think it's okay that you don't. I just think that like, you're way down the rabbit hole if you're buying into QAnon's shit. So that's.
But
my
again,
advice.
it's the degree of QAnon.
I agree. My advice is Jules, but a little bit lighter. I would say really dig into it. See what makes her get into this QAnon thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is she on just in weird groups of friends? Like, does she respond if you bring her facts? If she says like Tom Hanks is drinking baby cartilage, and you're like, well, actually, it's very difficult to find baby cartilage. I don't, or whatever. And then you like point out that like, this is true. Does she react well to that? Does she handle fact checking, or does she say what most of these crazy people say, which is, "You really believe Wikipedia?" So,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Well, the fact that Scott already said it drives him nuts is you kind of already answered your own question, you know.
Yeah.
But maybe give it one last talk and see,
so,
you know, exactly what you guys said, which is what about it is she drawn to, and what.
Yeah.
And if that's something that she could leave behind, and you know, if not,
if I had to put money on it, I would say this is not going to work out. This is just too
This-
far
So what are we? Are we pro marriage?
right now.
Pro Scott marrying
No.
QAnon supporter?
not
until we
yet.
get
No.
See if there's hope. Because
Yeah,
people program from
definitely.
cults all the time.
Yes.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
I did. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm still
What
in
were
one though, because I'm a demon. So
That's true. That's true. And you're in Hollywood, so you're probably Scientologist.
yeah, I have a different perspective as a demon.
How many events have you been invited to at the Celebrity Center?
You know, none, and I'm a little upset about that.
That's
Ooh.
ridiculous.
Come on, you guys.
Anytime I went to go get a headshot in LA, I was invited to the Celebrity Center.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. No one's asking me. I feel left out.
So we're going to bring in another person to join us for this next question.
Awesome.
This is she's a good friend of mine from high school. She would sit with me and we would talk about Buffy all the time, and she somehow got all her schoolwork done, and I was a D student. So let's bring her in. This is my good friend Ashley Davis. Hi, Ashley.
Hi. Hi, Dagney. How are you?
Good to see you.
Ashley, were you the guest host when Dagney was on?
I was.
You was.
Oh,
We've gone full
Yes.
circle.
I love it. Reunited.
All right, so here's the question. This is from Christy in Pensacola. She says, "Hey, y'all, and Dagney, I'm a big fan. Dagney, your character listens to a lot of music that we would consider guilty pleasures. What artists do you listen to in real life that you would consider to be a guilty pleasure?"
Richard Mark.
no,
I
really?
love Richard Mark. Yeah. I don't listen to it all the time. Let's just do it. But I've been thinking about it lately because they're using one of his songs on like a McDonald's commercial where
They
people
are.
are like, "What are we?" And I'm like, "Why are they laughing? That's a great song." Summer Night.
Richard Mark's like on the same level as like a Michael Bolton.
Are
Is
you
it, like,
asking
easy,
me?
I'm trying to think.
sentimental?
I think
like-
he's higher.
Yeah, maybe.
Let me just say, when I was working at American Idol, he was on our finale, and he did a performance with Ryan Seacrest
Oh boy.
on the finale.
No, you know,
So-
funny trivia. Richard Mark sang background vocals for the Lionel Richie song "You Are." Do you know that song?
yeah.
You are. Anyway, I do enjoy. I mean, he only had really 2 songs that that everybody knows, but I do enjoy "Summer Night."
He plays
By
in
Richard
Vegas all the
Mark.
time. He plays the same showroom that Olivia Newton-John plays. So clearly,
Nice.
you got to have 3 songs to make that showroom. So there's a third
You
one we don't know.
do. That's it. Just 3 and you're in.
Ashley, do you have any acts that you listen to that you consider like guilty pleasures?
No, I tend to listen to things that when I tell people, they're like, "Oh, really?"
Like what?
On the regular, like my playlist is mostly musical scores, like Nathan Lanier, Stephen J, because I can never pronounce his last name. Like most of the times,
You
the
listen to
music that
classical music.
well, I wouldn't even really call it
I
classical
wouldn't
because
call
it's
it
more
music either. It's
modern.
elevator music.
Well, that's what I said. Most people are like, "Oh, really?" Because I told somebody that once, and then she was like, "Oh," and then she heard my ringtone, which was like a song like that, and she's like, "Oh, you were serious."
So I would consider that to be a guilty pleasure.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Jewel, what about you?
I mean, 90s pop.
Yeah.
But like when I say 90s, I mean like 92 to like 2004.
Yeah.
Like that time frame. That's my guilty pleasure.
Jewel and I are actually starting a
Abandoning
podcast where we interview 90s celebrities.
Yes.
Because we both have like full-blown Asperger's for the 90s. So we are like, we're starting this, and we're canceled. We're starting that soon. And what I was going to say is it's impossible to have guilty pleasures if you don't have any shame. And I am not at all ashamed of listening to Mandy Moore and Vitamin C.
See, that was exactly my
Vitamin
point. I don't
C.
feel shame.
Yeah.
I love you, vitamin C.
Yeah, our first guest on our show is Meredith Brooks. So there you go.
I'm a
hilarious.
bitch. I'm
Also,
a
I
Yeah.
love Cher and Celine Dion and the Dixie Chicks. So all the things that Kathy loved are the music.
Yes.
Which is why I think Buffy was wrong.
Thank you. I will tell you that I think the last time we were on there, we were making the hashtag Justice for Kathy.
Yes.
I've been having a lot of fun doing these cameos for people. I can't tell you how many people are saying, "I'm sorry, Buffy was a bad roommate," and I'm like, it's spreading. Hashtag
Justice for Kathy.
My friend,
Thank you.
Lori
It's never
Beth
too
Denberg.
late for justice.
My friend Lori Beth Denberg does the cameos as well, and she loves doing it. She's like, I don't even
so
care.
fun.
She's like, "It's not even-"
Casual name drop. I'm just saying.
Most people have no idea who she was. She was on All That 20
I
years ago.
know, but I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much.
All right, that was a great question, Christy. Thank you so much. That was a wonderful question. Ashley, stick around for one more with us.
Okay, I can do that.
I think this might be easy for Dagney, but the question is from Mateus in Prague, and the question is, what Buffy character or characters would you say you relate to the most?
Myself.
Right?
I mean,
That was pretty
like,
easy.
Kathy only relates to herself.
Right?
There's no sense of anything beyond
Yeah,
her.
I think once they make a pop out of you, I think that you're just you.
You're just you. Yeah. You're just you.
Ashley, what about you? What character or characters do you relate to?
Nowadays, especially given your statements earlier, is that I guess I could say kind of relate a little bit to Buffy and probably Giles. Yeah, and it's interesting because it's for the reasons that you now don't like her. So,
fair enough.
the only reason why I say is that just different positions and places I've been at in life, I kind of understand being that person where you're just keeping a lot of people together, and to stay sane yourself, you have to have a level of distance or you'll go crazy. So I kind of get that.
You probably didn't hear earlier, but we were talking about, the question was like, what Buffy characters did you used to like and now you don't like? And my answer was Buffy, because she acts so like selfish and she just treats her friends as disposable. And that's why Ashley likes her, I guess.
I'm not saying that she treats them as disposable. I'm saying I do understand that level of distance, but then also too, up until now, the points where, and I don't know what exactly moments that you're talking about where she was disposable with them, but I feel like points where she's been distant with them or she's like kind of pushed them away. I was like, I understand those moments. I mean, I understand you needing those moments to yourself, because even with what you said, even though she has a full team, everybody on that team can walk away.
But she can't walk away.
Right. That's a good
She
point.
is stuck in that life forever. They can change the trajectory of their futures, and hers is.
Oh, Ashley went
We've lost Ashley.
somewhere.
That's all right. Jewel, what about you? What character do you relate to the most on the show?
I mean, probably, Edith.
Drusilla's doll, Edith.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's my favorite character.
I think I'm a weird mix of Jonathan and Cordelia. So there you go. So whatever that is, I'm John Delia. So let's jump right into our next question. And we're going to bring Naomi on for this. Naomi is, she handles all our social media. She's a fabulous friend of the show. She deals with me screaming about how the audio quality sucked in last week's episode about 4 times a month. So here's Naomi. Hi, Naomi.
Hi, Dagney. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Justice for Kathy.
Justice for Kathy. It's going to be as big as anything. And
yeah.
This is from my friend Zenis, who lives in Tirana, Albania, who's a good friend.
Wow, we're doing some really cool places here.
Yeah, I lived in Albania for about 6 months, so this is one of my friends. He says, hey guys, you talk a lot about your love of travel. Where are 3 places you'd like to go when COVID is over? And I'm guessing the question is places that we haven't been before, places that are on your like travel bucket list. Let's start with Dagney on this one.
Oh man. Yeah, well, before you qualified it, I was just like, to a movie theater. Like I was I was like outside the nail
to an Apple store, a Genius bar.
To an Apple get a massage. Man. Let's see. Where would I like to go? I think Greece came to mind. I've never been to Greece, and I feel like that could be kind of cool. I would also, I know someone was from Prague earlier. I haven't really done a lot of that area. I think that would be a cool venture.
Amazing, and it's cheap.
I don't know, in like Estonia. There's like some like kind of cool places over in that region that I've not really been. Eastern Europe. Oh, I would like to go to Poland.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have Polish ancestry? You have a very
Polish do. Yes, my mom's side of the family, her dad was from Poland, but and came over. Yeah, but I don't really know anything about them. But I would be cool. Yeah, I know. I always have like this fantasy that they were just like some people that, because I heard stories where they like sewed money and like they were seamstresses and they sewed money into like the jackets and just so I have all these dreams that they did something really like covert and like espionage. But I'm sure it was just that's what they did back then.
Well, that's like everyone does those like genealogy tests. They're like, I'm going to be related to Gandhi. I know it, and then it's like nope.
No, it's like normal.
They were a baker.
Yeah, I did one of those. I did one of those like ancestry DNA things, thinking that like I gotta be like part like Jewish or black or Latino or something. something like super exciting. It's just like you're white. That's
Right, exactly.
Same.
Why does everybody expect like to get some sort of Ashkenazi Jew? Like it's so bizarre, and a lot of people do get it too.
Speaking of, you want to know what I am? Real life. I am 49.8% Ashkenazi Jew and 49.2% upper like the UK.
Me too. You and I have exactly the same.
Yeah.
Mine was 49% Ashkenazi, which I was like, what's that other 1%? Because like my grandparents are both, but whatever. And then like Irish and Scottish and English and whatever.
What about Morocco? Would anyone visit?
Morocco.
Sure, Roman. Let's go.
I go
Okay, I know where I'm going. I
right,
don't know about you guys. I'm prepared. All right.
Yeah,
Somewhere that I'd like to repeat, I'm going to Bali. I'm spending at least a month there. That is where we're going. That is what we're doing.
I'm going with you.
Yes, we're all going back.
All four of us. Let's go.
And whilst there, I'd like to explore Indonesia. I'd like to go to Jakarta. I'd like to go to Kuala Lumpur. I'd also like to do Singapore again as like a more experienced traveler.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yes. Places that I have never been and like traveled really well. I haven't done mainland Europe. I've traveled around the world, but never hit mainland Europe. So I feel like I have to do like, you know, like Paris, Amsterdam, Italy.
Yeah.
The things. Eat the pasta, eat the croissant, smoke a joint.
I know Dagney's been to Paris because she did
I
the convention.
have. Yeah. Paris and Italy. Yeah.
Nice. Naomi, what about you?
Ready.
You know what? I can't think of any places that I haven't already been to. Like, you guys, seriously, my like top priority is just to go to Southern California just to see my family.
Right.
And then it would we keep thinking like, let's just go for like a month, you know, and like do the Disneyland thing or Knott's Berry Farm or something like that, and like go spend some time up in Big Bear where I haven't been since I was a child, you know, stuff like that. Just
Naomi lives in San Francisco.
I'm in San
I was
Francisco.
just gonna ask you.
Yeah. But we normally go down like once a year, and that obviously didn't happen. And then I also really want to do like the East Coast thing because I have not been in a long time, and my only time ever being to New York was an awful experience. So I mean, horrible.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. It was.
I really
horrible.
love New York City. It's like it's got a soft spot in my heart.
I want to love New York City.
Dagney, have you ever like wanted to go do like Broadway in New York? Like, have you ever done that?
That was like basically my dream, like growing up with, you know, like Fame and Flashdance and all that stuff. Like I was like, yes, I was like, that is gonna be my thing.
Can you sing?
There's this really, so I grew up doing musical theater, so singing and dancing. So there's this really horrible. It's one of my favorite movies, but it's awful. But that's why it is my favorite. It's called. Oh my God, that's so weird. I just blanked on it, and it's my favorite movie. I have not spoken to people in a while. I'm like, it's called Fast Forward. It's called Fast Forward.
I don't know it.
It is a movie that was directed by Sidney Poitier, but if you had ever asked him, he would deny it. He would say, no, that was another Sidney Poitier because it's so bad.
It's such a common name.
Like Michelle Pfeiffer from Grease 2, she's like, that was not me.
Oh my God, Grease 2 was one of the greatest films ever made.
Yes.
So Fast Forward is like that feeling too, but for like a little earlier generation. But you should look it up. It's horrible. It's a dance movie. It's about a bunch of kids from Ohio who are like want to go to New York City and make it big as dancers, and they get an apartment. And there's a lot of montages where they're like repainting the apartment. I mean, it's awful, but so good. But that was one of my birthdays. I had at a movie theater, and we all watched that. So anyway, I went off on a tangent a little bit, but that was my dream because Fast Forward did it. And I was like, I'm going to be just like that. I'm going to go to New York City and live in an apartment above a liquor store. Like, I wanted to just do everything that they did. Like, wear my sweatshirts off my shoulder. And like,
I looked up Fast Forward, and there's nobody in it. There's literally nobody in it. Like,
you have to watch it. It's awesome.
Oh, this has become
fantastic.
Jewel and I watched the Sarah Michelle Gellar movie Simply Irresistible, where she's a witch in the kitchen for this podcast. It is a disaster.
It's so bad. There are a few movies that I think I need to rewatch again. One of them I was just thinking of because I thought, Dagney, for some reason, I thought you were going to say Camp was one of your favorite movies. Did anyone see Camp?
I love Camp.
I did not see Camp.
Anna Kendrick is in it.
It's Anna Kendrick's like first movie. She's a child in it.
She's
And
no
it's
one in it.
all these kids at like a musical theater summer camp. It's
Yeah.
the gayest thing that's ever been created.
Wow. Love it.
You know what? I just reimagined the Buffy musical, but with Kathy coming back. Like, wouldn't that be so fun if instead of Sweets, who was awesome, but if it was like Kathy coming
Kathy came
back
back to
to
get
like
vengeance.
Oh my
exact
God.
revenge by
Have
And
you
with
seen?
Claire by my side,
Yes.
Wouldn't
Have
that
you
be
seen the
so
Buffy
cool?
musical
Claire and
episode?
I just like
yes.
breaking it down.
Jackie, have you
Yes.
watched the Buffy musical episode?
No, I have not. I've
Oh.
never seen it.
Yeah, you
It's
gotta
so
try.
But but that is my background is musical theater, so I would have loved to been in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe when we do this tour that Jewel and I are going to be producing together, maybe we get some Dagney Kerr action on our
There
tour.
you go. I can break it down.
All
I
right.
still got my high kick on my right side.
All right, Naomi.
Not on the left.
I'm gonna let you go, and we're gonna bring Will on. He's been in the waiting room for a minute, so thank you. All right, here comes Will. All right, hey Will.
Hi.
Will Dagney Will.
I will.
Nice to
All
meet you.
right. We
You
have like
too.
980 people watching this live. That is crazy.
That's so cool. From so many
everyone.
places.
That's so weird.
Right?
Hi, everybody.
Can you not tell me things like that? I feel like a lot of pressure is on me now.
Callie from Kansas City has asked us, what other
Hi.
fandoms do you follow? I'm late to Buffy, but I've been a Trekker forever. Are there any cult shows that you love and would recommend that people check out?
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls. Dagney, what about you? Are you how
I don't
in,
think this is the audience that watches RuPaul's Drag Race, but that's what I love.
you
Yeah.
get your ass it is.
Okay, I know you do, but I think the last time I saw you was on season 1, and I run out of seasons because I don't have whatever channel the new
Oh yeah, yeah.
the new season is on. But I love that show. That
I
got
have
me
two
through
friends on this current season. Elliot with 2 T's and Tina Burner are both good friends of
That
mine.
is
And
so
they're on right now.
awesome.
I said
Okay, I
Tina
wanna
Turner, but I
watch
meant
it.
Tina Burner.
This is what I do all the time whenever it's cloudy. I go, shade,
Hey.
shade, shade. I do
who's
that.
been-
Totally.
Who are some queens that you like love from that you've seen on the
Oh
show?
my gosh. Well, I do love Shade, Alyssa.
Alyssa,
Because
yeah.
she just, because we're both dancers, and I loved her on that show. I thought Alaska was super talented and hilarious and awesome. Oh my gosh, I just love this show so much. Everything in my life, there's a girl that I know, and she talks like this, and she's always like, awesome. And I always think, absolutely.
Yes.
And but even when I'm by myself, I'll do something, and someone will say something, and I'll just go, absolutely, like just to myself.
My buddy Roy is Bianca Del Rio, and Bianca is.
Oh
just
my
the
gosh,
best.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. I just love that show so much. I do my own lip sync for your life.
Let me
when
tell
I'm
you, the
driving,
RuPaul's
too.
Drag Race fandom is intense. Like there's wiki pages that break down every episode and everything that's ever happened on it. And you know what doesn't have that? We started a podcast about the West Wing, and there is nothing like that for West Wing. So I'm just saying.
That's the same audience.
Yeah, RuPaul's Drag Race way bigger than West Wing.
West Wing. I mean, that would seem like it would be really boring. Like chat board.
You would think. You would think.
They need their like lip sync boardroom for their life.
Right?
When I drive, though, I'll do my own lip sync for my life. Like I'll just imagine like a song comes on, and I'm just like imagining I'm.
I was doing that way before Drag Race, though.
Yeah,
I was doing
I
that.
was too.
Yeah, listening to Paula Abdul in 1989. So,
Totally.
Will,
That
what
would
about
be
you?
my pick.
What are some of your fandoms, son?
I have to follow that up. I don't know. I like my nerd stuff. So like Star Wars. I like old 90s cartoons like the Batman animated series, the X-Men. So I watch those as my background for a lot of stuff. I'm big into comedies. So like Parks and Recs, I'm huge into. I'll watch that over and over. Community is another one I can watch endlessly. So it just shows that I can put in the background and watch.
Nice.
Nice.
Jewel, what about you?
Well, Gilmore Girls, Friends, Grey's Anatomy, classics, but only Grey's
Yes.
Anatomy seasons 1 through 5 because
And you
all
love
know.
Friends, too.
I love Friends. I go to
Yeah.
sleep watching Friends every night.
Yep. I do that with Golden Girls, which are currently on my
Yep.
t-shirt. Yeah, I love Golden Girls, but my fandoms are, it's honestly, Buffy is a big fandom to be involved in. There's a lot of material there, so it's like, it takes up a lot of my fandom, like, what would you call it? Like real estate. I would say like Buffy's my biggest fandom. The question was, are there cult shows you think people should check out? And I will always and forever speak the gospel of Wonder Falls, my favorite TV show, even bigger than Buffy, a 1-season Brian Fuller TV show from 2003.
Also, My So-Called Life. I could watch that any day of the week.
Yep. All right. Yeah. Great question, Callie. Our next question. This is from Paul in Toronto. Hey. And Paul says, "Hey, GrrArgh gang, I'm in a tricky situation and I could use your help. I'm married with 3 kids and have been a successful trial lawyer for some time. I realized about a year ago that I'm unhappy in my chosen career and would like to switch things up a bit and get back into film production. How do I have this difficult conversation with my wife? Am I a selfish dick for wanting something different?"
No.
Oh, no. That's not selfish at all. And that's a perfect, so I just jumped in. I'm like,
no, it's great. That's great.
No,
do it.
No, you should always be happy in what you're doing because that's going to color your entire life. That's going to color how you are with your wife, your kids, that is that's your happiness, whatever your passion is. And trial attorney, that's pretty awesome. I mean, that's theatrical and it goes right along with film production. I mean, it's, I know a lot of lawyers that were in like my acting classes. I don't know if he wants to be in acting or what part of production, but I don't think that should be a tricky conversation at all. But I don't know your wife. It sounds like maybe that you're afraid of her reaction, but
I think it's probably like a financial. It's like, hey, I have this great job. We're raising these kids in beautiful Toronto. Do you like? But now I want to quit this job and like produce independent films or whatever it is that he wants to do. Like I think that is a difficult conversation to have, especially if she's not the most supportive of like pursuing an artistic career.
I can tell you, if they were married to my mother, she would say you can do art on the weekends. She told me.
Hilarious.
It is a tough situation, especially if he is the breadwinner. That changes the game, I think. Like, does she work? Like, what is the monetary situation? Because if they are depending on his income to live, the wife might have reason to not be pleased, but I don't think it should stop you. I think maybe you should work on the weekends. I think when you have something lateral that you can move to, maybe it's a little less money, or film is a deep time commitment. So these kids that you have to raise, this is going to be primarily on your wife then. I mean, I myself worked in production for 15 years and I worked, between 16 and 18-hour days a lot. So I think there is a lot to consider at that point. This is a bigger conversation than just like, hey, what do you guys think?
Yeah. But that's the big thing is you need to have the conversation. Like you need to be honest, straightforward, have a conversation. I also think like anything that you want to make a big change, you have to have a plan. Start putting together an idea of where you're going to go, how you're going to support while you do it, because you're not going to know where money's going to come in. So you got to be prepared for there may not be for a little while. And how are you going to plan for that? I think if you have a plan in motion and in set, the conversation is a lot easier because then the worry of what we're going to do next kind of walks away.
And it also shows that you thought it out. This is not just like a whim idea, like, ooh, I'd love to be a director today. It's going to take a long ass time for you to be a director.
Like, is that what he wants to be as a director? We don't know.
I just think the top of the career.
Yeah, he just said film production. I assume it's like he wants to make movies.
It depends on what it is, what part of that, because I mean, being a trial attorney is also a very big commitment, I would imagine, and takes you so I'd say it depends what it is. Like if you just want a job in production, that's different. If you want to be like a filmmaker, obviously that's a very different conversation. That's something you want to make sure you're good at. And let's know that might be more of a hobby.
I'm probably closer to Dagney on this than I am to Jewel or Will. I think if you are unhappy in a job, if you're not enjoying it, you can just delay it as much as you can. But every day that you continue doing something you don't like, it eats at you and it destroys you and it hollows out your body and carves nothing left. The only caveat that I have is you do have a wife and you do have 3 kids.
3 kids.
3 kids at this point. Those are mouths to feed, and you chose that life. I chose not to get married or breed because I'm an intelligent person. You chose you chose to be stuck, and that's unfortunately part of it. Is like if Will is correct. You need to have a plan. You need to have some money set aside that you can say like this will cover our expenses until I get these things up and running. That. Unfortunately, you might have to do something you don't like for a little bit longer to be able to have the income to be able to justify quitting what you're doing. And even though it's going to eat your soul, I know I'm contradicting myself, but both things are true at the same time.
I agree though, because like it's true though. If you're not happy with your job, considering how much of your day you spend doing it, it's miserable all around. You're not happy with your family. You're not happy with your kids because you're miserable coming home too. Like you got to love what you do. I mean, our lives are the longest thing ever, but they're so short that it's not worth not being happy.
I agree.
But you do have responsibilities now that you have to put into consideration first, not just what you want. But that doesn't mean you can't have that either. You just got to really put together a good, strong plan on how to get there. Like, do you even have connections? It's not easy to just say, I'm going to switch my career and then go into something. You have to have something in motion that says, I can make this work somehow, or at least I can give it the effort.
Or go PA on the weekends.
Yeah.
Figure out if this is actually something you want to do, trial attorney.
Well, he said to go back to film production, so I think he did.
That's what it sounds like he already has done that. So I think you absolutely need to go for it. And, if you marry the right person, they should be supportive.
Yep. And so, Paul, my overall advice, and I think the advice of everyone here is make sure you have your cards lined out.
Be financially solvent.
Have everything ready to go, and then go for it. But ultimately, your goal needs to be to go for it. I agree entirely. Okay, we only have time for one more question. So, Will, I'm going to let you go on this one because it is a Dagney specific question.
Oh, my God.
I will.
All right. Oops, sorry.
I will.
Just like them out.
Oops. So this is from Randy in Denver. Randy says, hi, Dagney. I am the biggest Desperate Housewives fan in the world, and Nurse Heisel is my favorite character.
Oh my God.
Do you have any stories from the set of Desperate Housewives?
That is so cool. Thank you so much. I forgot the first name. I just remembered Denver. Randy. Thank you, Randy. That is really awesome. I appreciate that so much. Oh yes, I do have a funny story now that I think of it. So the very, very, very first episode that I did where I had really bad hair. I mean, I remember back, I'm like, I had this huge red hair. Anyway, I have never smoked in my entire life, and my character had to smoke. And I just remember getting a pack of cigarettes, which let's stick on my teeth. I bought a pack of cigarettes, which I also felt really weird. If you've never bought cigarettes before, you just feel weird. Like I felt like a weird person. Like the person's like, you liar. Or like, you're a liar. You don't smoke. Like I felt really. I just remember. I was like, oh, and I didn't even know what to get. I was like, oh, just have a. What do you recommend? So anyway, I got those cigarettes, and I literally remembered standing outside on my porch with a mirror and watching myself to try to see how you're supposed to, because people can tell that you don't smoke. When you smoke. So I actually remember this is so stupid. I'm outside. I didn't light it, but watching myself to see how one smoked. Practicing holding it before we were shooting the next day, just so I didn't have to be like, how do you hold a cigarette? So that was kind of funny. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't funny. I just think it was random just to know that I'm standing outside and practicing how to hold a cigarette. But and then just know everyone was really nice. I loved working with Eva. Was fantastic to work with. She was just super cool and fun. And then Terry, I worked with a lot, and she was also fantastic. And it was a really fun experience. Thank you for saying that. It was a fun character too. So
yeah,
so
I've never watched Desperate Housewives, but from what I understand, you murder somebody.
Well, it was alleged murder. She fell while I was smoking. I was supposed to be watching her, and I was.
So it's like a murder by negligence.
She rolled down the stairs. Yeah, but thank you, Randy.
That was so cool. Dagney, we're going to let you go and we're going to handle some podcasting business. But thank you so much for joining us. This has been so much fun.
It was great to see you both. And
have you again. Like, we're just going to pretend Kathy's in every episode.
Let's do it. Yeah.
We'll write Kathy fan fiction.
That sounds great. Thanks everybody for all your questions. It was fun around the world, traveling around the world.
Oh yeah. All right.
All right. Take care, you guys. Bye.
She's so nice.
Yes. Okay, so now Jewel and I have to talk a little bit about what this podcast is going to look like when we come back on February 14th, because we're making some changes. So first of all, we have had so much fun having guest hosts on the show that are our Patreon subscribers, and it's been a hoot, and we still want to do that occasionally. But what we really want to do is get back to the sort of core that is Jewel and I just talking about the show and the fashion and the music and all of that stuff. It was getting a little bit garbled together. So when you see us come back on February 14th, it'll be just me and Jewel, and we'll be having an interview every episode. And that's another thing, is that we needed to clear up some space to be able to have interviews on every episode. So we will have somebody on the show related to Buffy or an expert on Buffy in every episode. Not related to Buffy. There's not very many people related to Buffy.
I was going to say, I don't understand what that means, but I'm going with it.
So we're going to be streamlining the show a bit and get back to that. And then the other thing is that we will not be doing live video anymore for the general public. It's a lot of extra effort to put in. Our audio quality isn't great when there's so many people streaming it. So what we're going to be doing is, if you join our Patreon page, you can watch the live video with us. You'll be in our waiting room, like it on the streaming app. So you'll just be in the bottom of the waiting room, like in a conference, watching a conference. It won't actually be streamed out. You'll be watching it as we record it. So we'll be doing that. It's $5 a month for our Patreon, patreon.com/GAC podcast, GrrArgh podcast.
That's 4 shows a month. So you're getting, how much are you paying? Like $1 a show?
Is that 4 shows a month? That's 4 shows a month of this show. Also, you'll be able to watch our West Wing podcast, our 90s podcast, and any other podcast that we add to the network with us live as well.
Oh, gosh. Now I'm going to have to do my makeup all the time.
Well, you won't be on all of them. You're not on the West Wing podcast.
I'm saying 2 or 3.
Yeah. So please join us. It's $5 a month. That's going to pay for all of our hosting expenses and all that other stuff. We're trying not to overload the show with ads, because I hate when you listen to a podcast. There's like 20 minutes of ads at the beginning of the show and then like 40 minutes in the middle. It's horrible. So please come and sign up over there if you want to continue watching the live video as we do it. Our audio stuff will be up the next day. So that's my commitment to you guys, is I'm taking the video off from the general public, but we'll be having the audio podcast up and live within 24 hours of us recording them. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure you go on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast and subscribe and leave a review. I'm going to be spending the next 2 weeks catching up on getting all the back episodes up, so that we're up and functioning and ready to go. Jewel and I have both had very, very busy 6 months.
Life happens, you guys.
It happened, and it happened very fast. We have things coming into motion.
Also, who knew we would still be like quarantine video doing things?
Right.
Now.
And if things go as planned, actually, Jewel and I will be hopefully in the same room sometime in the near future in a way that we can't talk about.
Yeah, it's true.
So hopefully we'll be able to bring you some podcast in person. And we will still occasionally have guests on. We'll also be doing bonus episodes every week where we're going to throw it in our Patreon Facebook group, and anyone who wants to join in can come in and talk about that week's episodes of Buffy and Angel and give their opinions and tell us if we were wrong and tell us if they disagree with us. So we'll be doing that for our Patreon subscribers as well. And that's only for Patreon subscribers. Those will not be released as audio podcasts. So please come and join us for that. We really are putting all of our efforts into getting more guests for the show and kind of bringing the show back to how it started, because we got a little ahead of ourselves and the show got a little distracted. So thank you guys so much for watching. Jewel, how cool is it that people still watch our show?
I'm like shocked to shit, you guys. Also, if you see me walking down the street, like say, hey, I hope some of you are here. That would be so cool. Also, but like, don't freak me out.
Yeah. Don't walk up and try to hug her. You
No.
know. And also always distance, not just for COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much again. And we will be back February 14th with a brand new episode where we will be discussing the first 2 episodes of the season 5 premiere.
Speaking of, Brandon, will you be my Valentine for Buffy?
Sure.
Why? That was a really big question. Fine. F
I
you.
mean,
who will be my Valentine?
Comment I just said nobody else is going to be on.
I know. Well, they can still be my Valentine from afar.
Maybe our guest will be our mutual Valentine.
I don't know if I share.
You're going to have to send me a box of sweethearts or else I can't say yes. That's how this works.
Whatever.
Exactly. Thank you guys. Have a good 2 weeks. We'll see you on February 14th. This has been so much fun. Bye.
Bye, GrrArgh.